Hi everyone, it's Whitney again. I want to do a quick video about a really good question I got from someone about just some tips for do's and don'ts for whenever a lot of you are starting some counseling lessons and some of you are using Google Hangouts or another platform recommended by your school. I really recommend Zoom. This is what I'm using right now just to share my screen on Zoom. But there's a feature in Zoom where you can show your webcam and the screen and the other people in the room when you're hosting a meeting with others. So it's really cool how you can share the PowerPoint, they can see you, and you can see the kids. And you can also try and monitor the chat while you're doing it too. It's a little tricky, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And kids, they're fairly forgiving of things like that and understand the new technologies. So I'm going to go through quickly one of my favorite lessons. This is my first lesson I do for the year for my kindergartners, first graders, and second graders. And I use the same PowerPoint for all of them. I feel like I can use generally the same things and then just dig in deeper and ask certain types of questions in different ways for based on how old they are and kind of develop that language appropriately based on their age. And this is my bestseller and Teacher Pay Teacher. It is one of my favorite lessons. I love doing it. And I start with every lesson just like I would as my guidance lessons in a regular brick and mortar public school. And like, hey boys and girls, I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for being here. We're gonna have such a great time today, and we're gonna talk about feelings, and it's gonna be so helpful to get started. And then I love to show them a picture of me. I try and switch up my pictures so they can continue to get to know me and feel connected like I'm a real person and not just someone through the computer. Luckily, your students know you already, but I'm guessing they probably have seen a lot of your life outside of school. So they would love to see that. And so show them some pictures of your pets, of your family, of like a crazy thing you did or a vacation you went on. They will just eat it up and love it. And they get so excited for that extra connection. So definitely start off with that. So that can help kids come back more because they feel just that, connection with you and they want to be back because they love you so much, right? And just like my guidance lessons I would do in a school, I like to start with a book, an activity. It's a little hard to do hands-on activities in this setting, so I like books and finding a read along online, and I'll give them the link and I can share the link on my screen so they can watch on my screen. Then I'll also give them the link in the chat so they can pull up a tab if that's easier on their end, and that helps with tech issues. So that's definitely a do as well. And then we talk about the book, what we loved about the book, and then I get started in my lesson and introduce it. And in this particular lesson, we go through the feelings. And if there's anything that kids can do on the screen, so in Zoom, you can see the kids' faces, and it's wonderful. So, for example, if I was starting with happy, my first question is, how can you tell if she's happy? And then we'll talk about like her eyes, her smile, she's looking up, she just looks like she's beaming. But what do you look like when you're happy? And have everyone make the faces, and they'll love seeing each other do it, and they just love it. They find it hysterical, and it's really cool to see them. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? Sydney, that is an awesome face. Can you do it again? Everyone, how can we tell Sydney is happy right now? What is she doing? And maybe she's dancing or doing something silly, and we just love it and talk about that, and that just engages them further, and then they try harder because they want to get noticed too as well. And I definitely mute their mics so that way they can't talk unless I give them permission to through their mics, or else it just gets a little overwhelming. Just like in a classroom lesson, they're not supposed to speak without raising their hand. So they need to make it known if they want to speak on the mic. But sometimes we don't have time for it, right? Just like in classroom. So we want to focus on the lesson that you have set up for them. And I go through the emotions there, and then I have some practical questions that they can answer and solve together. In this lesson, it's 30 minutes. It could be 45, depending on their attention span. But especially kids right now, and they're so eager just to socialize with each other at this point in time, and parents really want their kids to have something to do right now. You can make these a little bit longer than 30 minutes, whatever you feel comfortable with. But um, I just think connecting with them as a person for yourself and for them, use their names just like in the classroom. Point out some things that you like and you see. Utilize the chat. Ask them questions like, do you agree with that? Yes or no? And get them just doing something. Don't be like you're I'm sure, favorite college professor in the world who would just sit there and talk like this and just teach what's on the screen. Like, you don't have to do that. You can be fun and ask them questions and get them involved and have them do things. And you could do something silly at the end, like, all right, we ended early. It's 2 minutes. Let's have a dance party and play a song and have everyone dance and tell them have an awesome day. Have them look forward to this time and find it fun and exciting and so fun that they want to run to their parents after and tell them what they just talked about. That's always the end goal for me. I love whenever I hear that they're talking about this outside of my class, and that gets them to come back and really gets it to stick in their heads. I'm trying to think if there's any other don'ts. I guess just don't be boring with it. I mean, no one tries to be boring, I don't think, but be as you as you can be. They will just sincerely be happy to see you and be doing something with you at this time. Um, and I guess I want to assign like homework or things to do at home. I like to send out optional activities. Like, here's a coloring sheet or something with feelings connected. You can find lots of free stuff online that they can do as optional at home, and some of them like to do that. Most of them not so much, but it's a nice gesture for families just desperately looking for something else for their kids to do. Yeah, and if you have any other questions, put them in the chat or comments, and I will get back with them soon. And I hope you find this helpful. Good luck. You got this. Have an awesome rest of your day, guys. Bye.